Well, hi there. It is Tuesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, 2020. It is Journal 333, T plus 400, I think. Still not sure. It's interesting how the subjects for these little conversations between us come about. In this particular instance, it was a conversation I had with a friend, a colleague, a movie that Lesley and I watched on television, and something my father taught me when I first slid behind the wheel and learned how to drive. A personal mantra of his, something that he drilled into me over and over and over and over again. And something that I taught my kids when it was time for me to teach them how to drive. That's how important I thought it was. And it was always fascinating when it came up in the book and then we saw it in the movie. The movie was The Art of Racing in the Rain, which was drawn from a book by Garth Stein called The Art of Racing Cars in the Rain. It was probably one of the best books I've ever read, certainly one of the most enjoyable. And the movie was respectable. They did a really good job. There's a part in the movie where they're talking about driving, and the lead character turns around and basically says that the vehicle is going to go where your eyes are focused. In other words, wherever it is that you're focusing your attention, wherever your gaze is focused, that's where the car is going to go. Focus your attention on the wall and be ready to kiss the wall. Focus on, coming out of the turn and where you need to be when you come out of the turn, and that's where the car will go. And that's been my experience. It saved my life more than once. Maybe it saved yours if you think about it. So we were talking about attitude and focus, a friend and I, and he basically said, paraphrased that same basic idea, stating that your attitude will be determined by your focus. I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, he said, if you have someone that you think is a miserable, misanthropic, miscreant of a person, you're going to focus on everything that's bad about that person, and that bias is going to be confirmed. It's going to be reaffirmed. If you think the world is a great place and things are going to be terrific, chances are that's the way things are going to work out. And I know this to be true in my own life. And certainly throughout my odyssey with bone marrow cancer and through the transplant, focusing on positive outcomes, focusing on things that are right and things that are good, focusing on the heroic courage and the generosity and beauty of the nurses, reaffirms everything that's good about living in life and helps you get through those difficult moments. And certainly the transplant and the diagnosis were some of those moments. And my reaction to them could have been really different. I know people who have suffered because their reaction was different. If you look at the pandemic and you look at everything that we're going through now, it doesn't take a great leap of faith to figure out that your experience is going to be, in many cases, determined by your attitude, and your attitude is going to be determined by where you focus your attention. It's going to be determined by where your eyes go. So it's important that you recognize that and you use whatever tools you have available to guide your focus, ensure your vision is directed at what's good and hopeful and meaningful and generous and beautiful and true, and that at all costs, whenever possible, you avoid whatever difficulties there are in the world, whatever ugliness there is, and there are both. Life is not always easy. It's not always easy to be upbeat, but realistically, it's a choice that all of us have, and it's a choice that we all should voluntarily be willing to make. And when we make that choice, we should work hard, work diligently at ensuring that we're focusing on that which is good and that which is uplifting and that which is going to serve both ourselves and those around us well as we move through life. Certainly something worth considering. So recognizing that your experience will be determined by your focus will be determined by your attitude. Be sure you're aware of where your eyes are going, okay? In the meantime, stay well, stay focused, stay safe, stay home, take care.